The one thing I don't really like about mountain biking is the amount of faff involved. Compared to road cycling, there's just so much stuff you need. For me, I've got to drive through trails, which is a bit of a bummer, but can't do anything about that because there's no trails on my doorstep. So that means a short drive to the woods. And then there's all the stuff you need to remember. Got to check your tyre pressures, suspension pressures all set up. Remember the right shoes, spare tubes, pumps, a lot of stuff. But all the faff is worth it when you go for an amazing mountain bike ride that just puts a smile on your face and gets you covered in mud. And thanks to this bike, it's super rapid. This is a brand new BMC FourStroke, a 9.5 grand race weapon, full carbon frame, swing arm in the linkage as well. 100mm of travel front and rear thanks to these Fox Kashima coated suspension parts. And the best feature on this bike is the integrated dropper post. I've not seen anything like it on any bike. And minimises the weight penalty of a dropper post and provides 90mm of saddle adjustment. You adjust the saddle height down here, and there's a handlebar remote lever for adjusting the saddle when you're riding. So really cleanly done. The other interesting thing about this bike, it really separates it from a lot of traditional XC race bikes, is the geometry. So a lot more progressive, borrows inspiration from trail bikes. So longer, this is a 465 reach on a large with a 67.5 degree head angle, longer wheelbase as well, shorter chainstays. It's built around 29-inch wheels because that's what all the guys at World Cup XC level are racing. Just a really modern, contemporary, really fast, race-focused bike. And it meets the demands of increasingly technical XC courses. If you watch any of the Red Bull coverage of the World Cup XC races the last few years, you'll see the courses getting gnarlier and more techy and really pushing the riders to limits and really testing riding ability as well as fitness. And bikes like this BMC FourStroke are meeting that demand as well, with a slacker head angle, a longer wheelbase, and for the first time a dropper post integrated into the frame as well. And also a nice set of 750 bars and a short stem as well, so it's really focused on providing good handling. And that brings me on to my point about this video. When I started mountain biking 20 plus years ago, I had a rigid steel mountain bike, cantilever brakes, it was heavy, but it's great. It's all I had at the time. Suspension was still in its infancy, really basic rudimentary suspension forks were coming out, disc brakes weren't really a thing, but it's all I had and I rode everything. And in the last 20 plus years I've kept mountain biking, and my god, mountain bikes have changed and got so much better. But they've also done an interesting thing. They diversified into all different directions. So now, whereas I started mountain biking, you get a mountain bike, you do everything on it. You go up, downhill, trials, downhill racing, whatever you want to do on it, you did it on one bike. Now, you do downhill racing, you need a downhill bike. Enduro, well, you need an enduro bike. Trail riding, you want a trail bike. All mountain bike. XC racing, you need an XC race bike. And this idea of one bike to do everything doesn't really exist anymore. And I've always tried to do everything really, but I've always enjoyed the climbs as much as the descents. You have to earn your descent, and a fast climbing, efficient climbing bike for UK trails is a high priority for me. So I value lightweight, efficient suspension, but I want that really good handling when you get to the fun parts, because the fun part of the trail is what it's all about really. Otherwise it might be on your road bike, because you know, there's no reward there for your pain and suffering, where there is in mountain biking. You get awesome descents, single track and so on. I haven't ridden an XC race bike for a long time because, to be honest, I steer clear of them. There have been some good examples, but most of them have focused on low weight and efficiency at the expense of handling in terms of playfulness and just enjoying the descent. So low weight, super firm suspension, narrow handlebars, long stems, and you know, they're not much fun when you get to the fun parts of the trails basically. With this increasingly technical, demanding XC World Cup courses, and this influence from trail bikes and enduro bikes into XC bikes, we're seeing a really nice fusion of everything that's great about an XC bike in terms of weight, stiffness, and just efficient suspension, infused with that handling and a geometry from longer trail bikes. So the slacker head angle, the wider handlebar, the longer wheelbase really gives this bike a riding ability that I've not experienced in an XC race bike for a long time. And it's now a bike I consider, apart from the high price, for general riding. I've always leaned towards longer trail bikes because I want that geometry that gives rewards on the fun parts of the trails and sacrifice the weight a little bit. But with a bike like this, you can get that low weight and efficient suspension and stiffness and that responsiveness, but you've got the geometry, so when you come to a fun techie descent, you're not going to be over the handlebars or kind of riding down really twitchily, you can enjoy it. You can let the brakes off, you can really make the most of that geometry on those sort of trails. So I guess the point of the video really to say that, well, XC race bikes aren't dead anymore. You know, you can now buy a really good low weight, stiff, efficient pedaling platform like this one, but has a good geometry. So if you want an all-round bike that isn't for racing but for general trail riding, where you value speed and climbing ability, then you could look at a bike like the BMC FourStroke. I would never have considered an XC race bike as a general trail bike previously, but this has really changed my mind, and I've been riding it for the last few weeks, and it's just eating up all my local trails really well. It's just devours the climbs, and it's really good fun on the descents. Yeah, the 100mm fork does hold you back a little bit, but it's still a race bike, remember. So if you're looking for something fast and fun, check out the BMC FourStroke. And I can't wait to see what other manufacturers do in response to both XC World Cup racing and bikes like this as well. I think that's enough rambling for now. Let me know if you're riding or racing XC bikes and you're into this new genre of really capable XC race bikes in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well.